Hello, it's Lisa. Thanks for stopping at my channel today. We're going to work on this piece of cardboard and we're going to put an interior panel into a book box that I created. So here we're just adding some matte gel over the cardboard, which I had already applied 2 layers of gesso. This is just plain tissue paper and I'm putting it down with matte gel and I'm giving it a real good squish to create a whole bunch of great wrinkles. I am trying to create an underwater scene for my book box, and I think that this will resemble maybe some waves or ripples in the water. Let me know what you think. Here I'm just going to rip off the excess tissue paper. And I've already measured this panel of cardboard to make sure that it was perfect fit for inside of my box. Just giving it a little more matte medium over those edges. I'm sorry, matte gel. This is matte gel. Now I was trying to decide how I was going to create the underwater look with paint. So I thought I would use some of these sprays, and this is a fluid acrylic paint and a turquoise color. And I'll list all the colors below for you and the products that I used. And I'm just spraying it with a bit of water and letting it run. Here is a spray that I've had in my stash for a long time. I believe it's called Perfect Pearls. Do you remember when that was around? And it's in a copper, silver, or copperish color, and it has a really great sheen. So I'm going to let that dry and come back so I can put down some green spray, and that is a product by Seth Apner that I received in Creativation when I took one of his classes. And here's a little bit of blue, and that one had a little bit of alcohol in it, so I need it to dry. And now I'm going over the whole piece with a product from Stamperia, and it's called Mixed Media Aqua Color. And the color I'm using is leather, so a real nice dark brown. And this is going to replace the burnt umber wash that I always use. We're going to use this and see how this product works. So far I'm really liking it. It's really creating a great underwater background. I wanted the bottom to be a little bit darker, so here I am just adding a little bit more spray on the bottom, and then I'm going to let that dry. Well, there was so much paint from my sprays on this piece of paper that I thought, well, I'm going to try and save some of it. So I made a few card bases, backgrounds with it, because I hate wasting all of that great paint that I had on there. So I'm just using my sprays and creating a few of those backgrounds. They'll be great for some cards that I have. All right, a few more. And looks really cool with that blue, doesn't it? Yeah, I'm sorry, I just had to show you what I did with all that leftover paint. You know me, I couldn't let it go to waste. Alright, back to the project. I needed to choose some pattern paper from this book, Stamperia, and it's Mechanical Sea World. I'm going to use some archival ink and potting soil and my finger dauber, and I cut out all of those little pieces from that paper. Here's the fish, and then I cut out all those seaweeds and different little plant life. And I used the finger dauber and the archival ink to go around the edges to darken them in. And now I'm going to put all of them down with my matte medium and a soft brush. and I'll show you part of it, but I'll do the rest off camera. I'm really liking how my background's turning out. Here's a little anchor that I found in the pattern paper pad also, and I thought I'd just cut it out real quick, use my finger dauber and my archival ink in potting soil, go around the edges, and adhere it to the piece. There was kind of a big opening there on the piece on the left hand side, and I thought this anchor would be really cool. I actually put it down and created a little bit of an angle too for the anchor, and I thought it gave some more visual interest to the piece. This pattern paper pad is really, really nice, and I have a few left for sale in my stash. If anyone needs one, let me know in the comments below. I believe they're $15.99, and I can let you know if I have any left, and we can ship it right out to you. I think I may have 4 or 5 of the pattern paper pads, but this paper is so great by Stamperia. My email's below. You can let me know and we can make arrangements for the shipping. So my anchor is looking real cute. I'm gonna put it down with my matte gel, and before I said that I put the seaweed and stuff down with my matte medium, it wasn't strong enough, so I did go back and give it a good coat with my matte gel, and I made sure that everything was covered and nice and dry before I went on to the next step. I like how that anchor is a little bit crooked. I think that looks great. Now I'm going to use the vintage paste by Stamperia. Everything's dry, and I'm going to use my stiff boar's hair brush. And it's important to use the stiff boar's hair brush because it gets in all of those nooks and crannies. And I use a little bit of mineral spirits to thin that out a little bit. And it's very important when you're done with this process to use the mineral spirits on your brush. And I'll show you what a brush looks like if you don't clean your brush with mineral spirits when you're finished with this. It just totally wrecks them. So I'm going over the whole piece with this vintage paste and a little bit of mineral spirits. And then I'm going to wipe it back with a Huggies that's not totally sopping wet, and you're just picking up the top color and leaving that vintage paste in all of the crevices, giving it really, really great definition. This is a great, great technique. Look at how cool that piece is. It's much neater in real life, and there'll be pictures at the very end for you to check out. Look how cool. Now I'm going to finish the inside of my book box by cutting papers and putting it in. Here's the example of that brush. If you don't clean your brush, it just wrecks it. So I just used the mineral spirits and cleaned that. Here's the brush that's all trashed, and it's just mineral spirits, and just give it a quick cover up and it will last a long time. Just cleaning my surface up with a little bit of rubbing alcohol there. Alright, there's the brush. Back to the book box. I need to put that piece inside there, but I wanted to do the edges and that back of the front cover. So I'm picking out my papers from my paper pad, and this is what I came up with. I have this one with the pipes, and then some papers that had some text on it, and this is a distress tool, and I'm just going around the edge of the paper for the top to distress those edges so it didn't look so crisp and clean and new. And I'm also going to add my potting soil archival ink to the edges so that it didn't have that bright white edge. This is supposed to be an underwater piece, so I'm guessing the paper would be quite old also. All right, cleaning up my paper, giving that edge a little bit of the distress ink. I'm sorry, not distress ink, archival ink, which is permanent. Yeah, like I said, let me know if you want any of these paper pads. I have a few extra that I'd be willing to part with. $15.99, and then the shipping, of course, which should only be a couple bucks. I'm going to adhere all the pieces down with the matte gel and give it a good coat, both underneath and on top. Everything's dry here, and I'm just using this string to put down on the inside when I put this panel in case of emergency and I had to bring it back out. I would just be able to pull on the string. But everything looks good, so I can get rid of that string. And look how cute. The book box is really cute. And you get a sneak peek at the front of the box also. And the front of the box was one of my online classes that we did on May 20th. Now you could put other embellishments on the box also, but I had to get going, so I had to finish. I like how it turned out. Leave comments below. Thank you so much.